See, the conflict of interest comes in when you are wanting a strong man and vulnerable man at the same time. The question is, do women want a vulnerable man? So first thing I did is pull up vulnerability definition on dictionary.com. There are three different definitions. So one, openness or susceptibility to attack or harm, willingness to show emotion or to allow one's weakness to be seen or known, the condition of needing supportive or protective social services and community resources because of advanced age, poverty, disability, etc. There's a fourth definition, but the fourth one deals with biology, ecology, likeness to be classified as an endangered species in the near future unless circumstances improve. In all seriousness, man might become endangered species soon enough if they continue to be vulnerable. But let's dive in and let's talk about this. So I have two main questions that I want to be able to ponder upon in this video. One, do women want a strong man who can listen, or do women want a strong man who can showcase weakness? And I want to make this distinction very clear because I can get behind desire by a woman to have a man, a strong man who is willing to listen, who is willing to understand, who is willing to showcase sympathy, who is willing to provide feedback. I cannot get behind the concept of women wanting a strong man who can showcase weakness. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And according to definition of vulnerability that we looked at, the three of them that we read is pretty much showcases weakness. There is no other way to put it. The condition of needing supportive or productive social services, willingness to show emotion or to allow one weakness to be seen or known, and then openness or susceptibility to attack or harm. If that's not weakness, then I don't know what is. I believe that second question that I pose is legitimate because of the definition of vulnerability, the word itself. So, with that, if women do want a man, a strong man who can showcase weakness, I highlighted 3 to 4 different scenarios as to how it can go in my mind. In scenario number one, he's your protector and provider. Your protector and provider should be someone who is focused on your well being. This person is focused on problem solving. A man who protects and provides is the man who figures out how to be a strong man for you. That man must figure out how to get resources for you and how to build an invisible shield so no one can harm you. That man does not have time or desire to showcase weakness. He has other things to do. If you tell me that you want a vulnerable man who is willing to consistently show you emotion and that's your main priority and you don't care for that man to be strong, fine, I can understand that. Realize that you might end up with vulnerable man who would be more emotional man. I would say don't expect him to be strong, to be a leader, to be the man who's going to solve all your problems. But I do believe that many women do desire a strong man who is willing and able to solve their problem in his own problems, as well as showcasing vulnerability in his emotional side. Now, to me, it's a conflict of interest because you cannot have both. Life isn't a fairy tale. If you're going to have a strong man who is going to be willing to solve his and your problems, he's going to be built a certain way. Chevy truck is not built to race Formula One cars. Chevy truck built to maybe go off-road sometimes and move furniture. They're not going to convert themselves into convertible. Same thing, a strong man that built to solve your problems, not going to convert into an emotional man who is going to be sharing his emotions with you in an emotional way. That's too many emotions. A strong man is going to play his role, a role that worked for him his entire life. He's not a Hollywood actor. He's not going to be able to go from hot to cold, from strong to weak, and from emotionally resilient to emotionally weak. And just in case some of you don't understand why I consistently say weak, is because for us men, showing a lot of emotion, showing vulnerability equals emotional weakness. If we never done that, if we never experienced that, if we don't navigate through life in that manner, then it's completely alien to us. And it feels so unnatural for us to be able to do that, even with the woman that we love. Again, I want to remind that what I said in the beginning of this video, I am completely in favor of a strong man who is transparent, who is honest, who is able to listen, and who is able to acknowledge the feelings of his woman. I am not in favor, and I don't believe that you can have a strong man who is going to be able to show his emotional side, so go from strong to weak, and be able to do that easily. And even if you could have that man, it seems that a lot of women end up resenting this man in the end, because subconsciously women want a strong man. Women want somebody that they can depend on. And if you have a man who is whining by your side, whining figuratively speaking, a man who is complaining or who is really sharing the emotions. And by the way, when men sharing the emotions, that means that they might get emotional, that they might actually going to share some of the very personal stuff with you that's going to make him feel things that he doesn't normally feel. So you might get a reaction that you don't expect out of this man, because that's not a normal conversation that men are accustomed to have with anyone. Therefore, the reaction that you might get out of this man might be completely different from what you actually expecting. And then women that did experience that, they don't know how to react. They don't know how to take this man. This man who's been sure of himself, who acted strong, now all of a sudden he is borderline crying on her shoulder and he's venting to her. What I believe is that his emotion is his strength, not his vulnerability. And you cannot have both. You're going to be good at one or the other. So my thing is, if you have a strong man, don't try to convert him into something that he is not. Life is hard. He's going to end up being vulnerable at some point regardless, because somebody's going to pass away. Somebody's going to get sick. Somebody's going to need help. He might need to take care of you. You're going to see his vulnerable side when he's going to become a caretaker, or when he's going to be put in an uncomfortable situation to do something that he's never done before. That should be his vulnerable side, not sitting on the couch with you on Friday night and crying on your shoulder, or becoming emotional and confused about why his life played out the way it played out. Do you really want that type of man? I rest my case. Let me know what you think about this subject. Let me know if you agree with my points or disagree with my points, and tell me why you agree or disagree with them. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video until the end. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, smash the like button, hit on the bell in order for you to receive notifications for all the future videos and live shows. And please take care of yourself and your loved ones. I'll see you next time.